Want to turn your passion for drawing into a full-time career? Discover our courses at Brushcamp where you become a master in the realm of digital painting. Brushcamp offers tons of similar courses in illustration, 2D, 3D design. Level up your creativity with free knowledge and courses. Visit brushcamp.com today and explore endless possibilities.
First of all, I would like to congratulate you all for coming to the last post of this course. In this lesson, I will show you how to create simple shapes like this. It's so cute. By using the tools that I have instructed. These shapes were created using the basic shapes that I showed you in lesson 5. By using this picture, some of the tools I have instructed are pen tool or Pathfinder. I'll show you how to do this first. I quite like succulent plants such as succulents, cactus. As for the pot, I can create a figure like that. How can it be drawn? I will show you how to use basic geometry to be able to create such a figure. I have a rectangle like this. I'll let it inside for a bit. Let it inside for a bit. I have the mouth of the potted plant, so I used a rectangle to draw a potted mouth for it. I'll round this one. Very easy. At this point, I pull it in a bit. I will round these two corners a bit. Inside it is a picture. Press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+Shift+C. I will shrink this picture to draw a face for it. Select this one. In this picture, we will choose the two corners above. We continue to round the corner for it. I'll make this a little bigger. We hold the Alt key, and we will use the ellipse tool to draw two circles for eyes. I'll paint it white. Here's one. We will draw it and multiply it. Fill it with black for irises. Let me draw an eyeball for it. We will shrink it by holding Shift and Alt to zoom out concentrically. We already have one eye. Now we want to multiply it to make a second eye. For example, you can't choose here. Then you can press Ctrl+Y. The machine enters the mode where you only see its stroke lines. Here you don't care if it's an array or not. You only see it as a stroke, so you can easily select these two objects, like this, and it's not attached to this object. We press Ctrl+Y to exit this mode. We can select two objects without having to click each one, saving time. You press Alt and Shift to multiply it. Next, we draw the mouth. To draw its mouth, we will have a rectangle. There is a rectangle. We made it shorter. We will round the bottom two corners. Same above. Just a little bit round. The two lines below, we need more corners. We have a mouth. We will give it a bold color like the object here. If you want to make the tongue inside, we'll use a circle. Put it in here. Give it gray. We have these two. We use Shift+M. Or you can use Pathfinder. Pathfinder. Remove this one, ungroup. Remove it. So you have the figure's face. Now we will add the eyebrow. You use the pen tool to draw an eyebrow. Then you increase the stroke thickness. Go to cap and select round cap. To be round like that. After that, you can edit it a little more. Edit it. One more here. You press Alt and Shift to multiply it by. Hold the Alt key and we flip over to make another eyebrow. If you want to edit it a little bit, pull it up. Make it a little smaller to make it beautiful. We finished the character's face. We'll continue to make the two small stripes here. You just need to use the pen tool to draw this stripe. Draw this stripe. We color it black. It has round cap. There's one and there's one below. Stretch this out a little bit. We drew its limbs, we drew its arms and legs like it was walking. You use the pen tool. You draw a leg. After finishing, I want this stroke to be orange. But I don't want to change too many times. Do you remember that I used to instruct in eyedropper tool? You press X to stroke it upwards. Use eyedropper tool. Hold Shift to color it. Suction and turn it orange. Because its attribute is in shape, it is fill. It doesn't have a stroke, so if you want to draw its color, you have to hold Shift. Like I said a few days ago. Now I will increase the stroke thickness. Increase the stroke thickness. Let us make the character's legs. Now let's add a leg here. These two legs are still a bit small. We're going to stroke it up a bit. Next to hands. We press Alt plus Shift to multiply it. Press the Alt key to reflect it. You can use the Alt key to reflect it, or use the transform, reflect. Adjust this hand a bit. You already have your character's head. I will show you how to draw leaves. Draw leaves on top of it. So we choose this blue. You have a rectangle. Then you add a point. Press the plus sign. Press the plus sign next to the minus sign. Then you will add a point right in the middle of this. Or you can press P. Select the pen tool. Click the plus sign and you add one more point here. Add one more point here. Then we use the direct selection tool. We pull it up. These two sides. We'll corner it a bit. Like this. And we got a leaf. We'll put that leaf in here. As you can see, the leaf we are lying on is on the picture. We want to put it below the image. Right-click and select Arrange, click Send to Back. I will give a brief introduction to this. We have three pictures superimposed on each other. We have three overlapping pictures. For example, we have three overlapping pictures. I want to put this orange picture below the blue one. I press the arrows, horizontal brackets, left. That's one layer down. We press one more layer down, one more layer new. And if we want to put it right to the bottom, press Ctrl and the brackets. Now we press it to a layer, then we press the horizontal right sign. This is a layer. We want to put it on top, then press Ctrl plus Shift. Then it will go to the top. You can use this to speed up using tools in Adobe Illustrator. You should get used to using keyboard shortcuts. If you use the command too much, it will slow down the progress of the work. Now I multiplied these three leaves. Press Ctrl plus C, Ctrl plus Shift plus V, and I've multiplied a leaf. We will use the rotate tool. We put its center here. We hold shift so we can rotate it at a 45-degree angle, like this, and similarly. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+ Shift+ V. Use rotate tool. Put its center here, at a 45-degree angle. That we already have 3 leaves here. Now I want to add a leaf in the back. We also press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+ Shift+ V. Place it in the center. Use the rotate tool. The shortcut is R. Put the center right here. Turn a leaf over here. Similarly. Or if you want to be faster, press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+ Shift+ V. Use the Alt key, the reflect key. Press Alt. That we put its flip center here. And I drag from here to drag it over so it can flip the image. To be able to flip the picture side to side, drag it here and it will flip over here. And if you want to drag it from the top, it will flip down. Drag the bottom up, it will flip from the bottom up. Simple. The 2 leaves are in the back. I give it a dark green color. As you can see, it's not in the back, it's in the middle. And you can press Ctrl+C and the sign to the left. It will go to the bottom. I'll give these 3 cards a little lower. Enlarge it. We got a character using such basic geometry. To be able to draw like this, I will show you how to stylize things from home. Or what do you guys like into such a cute character? After I showed you how to draw this character, the character here is also similar. I will show you how to draw a household item at home. For example, television, but I like a little more classic TV. Let's start together. I have TV models here. I prefer some TVs that look a bit more classic, because it will have buttons like that. We will make it easier to design. Because modern TVs only have a black screen, it will be a bit difficult for us to stylize it. Draw expressions for it to make it look cuter. And now I will analyze it. This TV usually has 2 or 4 legs, and a screen. Then we can't put the pictures in here. We're going to take those striped screens. It's quite typical of classic TVs. It will have 2 such knobs. It's like that. I'll draw 2 eyes and a mouth. Let's get started, guys. I quite like this form. It looks like a picture. I will draw a rectangle. Next, we will continue to draw inside. It will have a thick wooden wall on the outside. Press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+ Shift+ V. We gotta copy at that location. We'll scale it down a bit. Scale it down a bit. For example, in this I will give it a different color to make it easier to see. For example, white. For this surface, we rounded it up a bit. I will adjust this angle a little bit. Next, you can see it below. It has another ray. Another small rectangular ray. I'll give it a rectangular ray here. Adjust it a bit smaller. This array. To make it darker, I color it dark gray. In here, I color it yellow. To the screen. It will have a border. So I'll draw a rectangle. We'll draw it, guys, and we'll edit it later. Now we'll put it right in the middle. Right in the middle. Top center. Oh, I'm sorry. Can only align right in the middle. Align it right in the middle. After we get the screen, we're going to round that corner up a bit. As you can see, its corner is rounded. Then we will also round that corner like that. And it's a black border thickness. Press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+ Shift+ V. I'll make it a little smaller. I'll give it black. Dark black, like this TV. Adjust it a bit. As you can see, just now, I feel it's not very uniform. But now you want to make it even? Then I will introduce you to a tool. You will choose this array. You go to Object Select, click Offset Path. This command will let you create an object. It has the same shape as the object you selected. Or will it zoom in? Or shrink inward? It will depend on the parameters you enter. It will be the same size. Same shape, but it will be smaller. Click OK. You can see our inside picture. It's smaller and the same size. Then I'll give it a color. For example, yellow. We will change it later. You don't have to do like this color. You can change it as you like, depending on your ideas. I really like the antenna, so I'll give it a small antenna. Like that. I will use the ellipse tool. The shortcut is the letter L. Draw a circle here. Eyedropper tool. Eyedropper tool to suck black. Make it smaller. Now I will make two antennas. I will use the pen tool. Pen tool. To draw two antennas. I made it a little thicker. We multiply it. For one, we give it a slight slant. I want it to be long. And at the top of it there are two round points. One more here. That's it for now. That's it for now. In a little while, if we have any adjustments, we will adjust more. We'll have these two. We will draw to eyes. We will draw to eyes. A big one. Press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+Shift+V. To have a similar picture. Let's scale it down a bit. We will use the eyedropper tool to suck its white color. After that, we want to draw one more eyeball. Ctrl+Shift+V. We keep shrinking it. Use eyedropper tool. We keep shrinking it. Or we move it up here. I want to multiply this to have two eyes. Then I will choose. You will take time to choose. Scan through those three objects and you have to press Ctrl+Y. One more time. Then it will be okay. I want to put these two buttons next to each other. To have a mouth. I will make a speaker. This speaker, I will stylize it as a mouth. I will zoom closer to make it easier to manipulate. We will draw a motion for it. As for me, I'll make it feel scared. These two eyes are not grouped yet, so we press Ctrl+Y. We scanned it. Press group. Group it. Do the same. Ctrl+Y. We are stuck by a rectangular array. Press Shift. To deselect it, group 𝗍𝗲𝗀+Y again. Now this eye will be big. This eye I want it to be smaller. In design, you should be rhythmic. The big and the small, don't let everything be equal. Then it's not good. I will draw the screen stripes. Its screen is striped like that. In order for it to have the same screen, you should draw a rectangle. Let a rectangle cover it. Cover on top. You switch back to stroke. Switch back to stroke. You count. It has 7 colors here. 7 colors. I will divide it into 7 arrays. Make it into 7 equal stripes like that. How to divide? Shouldn't you just draw 7 arrays to make it all the same? It will be very difficult. I will introduce you to a new tool. You go to Object, choose Path, click Split into Grid. I am using columns for vertical division. I will do it right here. 5, 6, and 7. Click OK. It's split. It has divided into 7 equal columns. Now each column you just need to give it a color. Hold Alt, click Color and hold Ctrl. Click Color, hold Ctrl. One more color. CTRL. Now you have these 7 colored boxes. Now we will cut off the excess. Press CTRL+Y to choose these 7. It's stuck with a rectangle on the outside. Remove it. We chose the rectangle inside. You can use Shift+M to remove unnecessary objects. You can use Pathfinder to divide it and remove unnecessary objects. We also use Shape Builder tool. You are use Shape Builder tool, like this. Then we get the same result. We already have this TV screen. We will draw emotions. I want to make this TV look like avoidance and fear like I said earlier. Then I'll tilt it a bit. Tilt it a bit. Done. This eye of ours. We'll draw it eyebrows. I will make this stroke bigger. It's inverted in color. You turn this off and change it to black. Increase stroke thickness. Let me do the eyebrows. I'll give it a round cap. Looks like it's getting a bit long. I'll make it shorter after a while. I wanted eyebrows to be a little thicker. Now we will have one eyebrow on the other side. We multiply it. After we got my second eyebrow, we adjusted it a bit. Make it shorter because the eye on this side is smaller. This mouth looked like cheerful. So now I want to reverse it. Let it mouth panic a little. You use the O key, which is the reflect command that I showed you. Reflect tool. Flip it over here. Rotate it and edit it a bit. We will choose these 2 points. Make it a little rounder. Only 2 points. Just a little more. Down here, we're going to make the roof of its mouth curl up. We use Shift+C. Or you can go to this tool, Anchor Point tool. You drag it up here so its mouth looks like it's panicking. We adjusted this to be curved. This one gives it curvy. We will draw the inner tongue for it. We will draw a circle. Shift+M and we hold Alt to remove this. We'll color it gray. Here you can see it has stripes. Then we'll change it up a bit, turn it into teeth. It becomes teeth. We draw here. Draw it out. Make this smaller. Turn here. Make it white. We'll multiply it. This one is a bit big. It has a little bit of teeth to make it look cute. You see that the spacing between these teeth is uneven, right? You choose for and choose the command to align. It will stretch evenly. Then you remove the excess. We remove the excess. You have an emotion on this character's face. I think this eye is a bit big, so I made it a little smaller. It will be more interesting. It will depend on the template you choose, and depending on how you stylize it. Now these two are called two antennas. Like I said earlier, it has to be rhythmic. If there is a low, there will be a high. And this one should be a little bigger. I colored this antenna in yellow to make it cute. I could delete this circle and multiply this one. Multiply this yellow head. And we suck at this side's attributes. This screen is right in the middle. We want it to shift to the left a bit. Because it is leaning over here, we press Ctrl+Y to skin through this. Press Shift to remove it. Let's skew it a little bit here. Then you can see on the TV screen it will have white stripes to show its gloss. Looks like a mirror. Then we do the same thing. We color it white. Tilt back. Here's one more. And you always remember the rhythm. The thick one, the thin one, don't let them to be equal. I will reduce this opacity box to increase its transparency. I've seen it get the glass effect here. I'll cut out the excess here. We continue to choose these 7 pictures. Shape Builder tool. Hold Alt to remove redundant arrays. You already have the effect like the screen is projected through. Let's continue to draw the leg. There will be a leg. It's leaning over here. You should remember to keep the leg on a flat surface. I'll give it a flat surface. Here's its first leg. Will be its first leg. For this leg, it's as thick as an eyebrow, even more. Second leg. Second leg will be a little shorter than first leg. It's leaning. Next is the third leg. I shortened this leg. Pull it in a little bit. Last leg. I talked about the rhythm. If you put these 4 legs together, it will look boring. I'll let this leg lean over here a bit. We will use the anchor point tool. To make this leg arch up a bit. This leg allows it to lean over here a bit. To make it more funny. And this leg is too long, it won't look good. Because normally the TV leg will be short, right? So you continue to adjust this bar a little higher. Let it be shorter. A product to beautify in the first place is a bit difficult. Everyone should just do it and edit it later. This leg, I think it's still not thick enough. I'll make it a little thicker. Increase the stroke. That's how you can create images from ideas from furniture around your house. Then you draw it and draw more emotions to make it cute. You already have a product through the Adobe Illustrator tool. Together we can draw plants and a tool. I will show you how to draw food. For example, a burger. To make it more interesting, we already have furniture. We have plants. Now we have a little more food. Next here we have a steaming burger. Now let's draw the burger together and add some emotions. To make it cute, we want to draw a layer of bread on top. But my intention is to put its eye on this. So I'll make the burger layer a little thicker. I'll make it this thick. It will be this high. Now I will make this layer thicker. And of course the burger is yellow. We will scan through these 2 points. Using the direct selection tool, the shortcut is the letter. Make it round. It's a bit too long, so I'll squeeze it a bit. Of course, these 2 sides of mine are a bit round, but not as round as above. Next, we have a vegetable salad. You can see it has wavy lines. So we're going to use this color and wavy line to create a layer of vegetables. We use pen tool. We will bend this part. We will click a point. We have created a horizontal S. We give it a stroke. Multiply it. Multiply it. And I would like to zoom in on it a bit. Let it start and end points touch. In order for you to put it correctly, usually it will be skewed. If you want to put it exactly, press Ctrl and hold this point. It will automatically attract each other. Attract each other. We will choose these 2 points. We want to form an array of vegetables, but these 2 are only 2 strokes. So we will choose these 2 points and connect it. Now it's an array. It becomes a main feature. It's not a slit anymore. That's also how you handle strokes. Now let's continue to multiply it. Multiply 1 more time. If this does not match, please hold Ctrl. We will connect this point. Connect selected endpoints. For you to have a layer of vegetables, I will connect from here to here. Now we have a closed array. We'll give it green color. Green color of vegetables. We will reverse. Give it green. I just want to take the middle from here to here. The middle from here to here. So I will use the rectangle tool. Then I'll cut through here. We only keep the intersection part. Now you can use this tool. Keep the intersection. We put it in here for the solid. Drag it down a bit. You can adjust it manually or select through two. And click 1 to take this as the center. And you use the line tool palette. If you do not have this table, go to Window and turn on the line tool panel. Align. You will use this command to center. Those of you reading this can understand. Vertical align bottom. It will align to the bottom edge. So is this vegetable. We'll give this one of it. Round it up a bit. Here too. To make it round up a bit. Next, we will have tomato layer. We will have a layer of tomatoes. A layer of tomatoes. Orange. Multiply it into 2 pieces. Stretch it out a little bit. Next is a layer of cheese. We want to multiply it. Stretch it out. Make it a little thinner on this. The color of cheese. It's also yellow, but it's lighter. Next is the steak layer. Keep multiplying this one. Steak it will be thicker than the bread on the bottom. A brown color. A brown color. We have a layer of bread on the bottom. Keep multiplying this one. The bread base will be thinner than the steak. And it will be the same color as the bread above. After we have the burger layer. After creating the basic shape, now we will draw the emotions for it. Normally the burger is eaten by someone else, so now I want it to be eaten by someone else. It is more aggressive, it wants to chase others to eat. Let's make this one open its mouth. Rotate it a bit. It looks like it's opening its mouth. This layer of vegetables is like a tooth. Let it lengthen a bit. This one's a bit high, so I'm a bit shorter. I want this head to be a bit rounder. We draw it to eyes. To eyes. A white eye. As usual, I always do. I'll give it an angry face. It's like it wants to eat other people. You will make the upper eyelid look angry. You use the shape builder tool. Scale it down. We give it a darker yellow. Of course, it also has irises. Ctrl plus Shift plus V. Scale it down. Scale it down. Make it black. Of course, we'll multiply it. Ctrl plus Y. Select 2 objects and group it. Multiply it. Flip it over. Use Reflect tool. Hold Shift to turn it over. And I want to make this eye smaller. You can see here there are sesame seeds. There are sesame seeds. Then I will try to put the sesame seeds on here. There will be a color slightly lighter than yellow. Looking at it like, let me keep trying. Big seed, small seed. Add 1 more seed. Make it smaller. It's the sesame seeds on the burger. I just stylized it. I will multiply it here. This side is less. To burger it yellow, all its colors are very pale. If you put it on a white background, it won't stand out. It should be left on a small black background. To highlight the burger, color it black. All the objects I rounded to make it cute, so I rounded this one too. The other day, I said to put it last, right-click, select Arrange, click Send to Back. To bring it to the bottom, make it a little longer. You shouldn't let it overflow like that. It's quite normal. You should leave a small frame like the object. It's also a trend in character design lately. Look cute. You don't need to always adjust the black overflow. Covering the character. This one I want to make it a bit more round. I'll do the stake part. Stake it will have stripes like that. We will draw marks like that. Round it. Make it longer. Take the color and make it a little darker. Make it a little darker. And we'll multiply it. Draw less, guys, too much drawing will be rough. Draw less. We'll draw its teeth. Because it's angry. It opens its mouth like it wants to eat something. We'll draw its teeth. A white tooth. Round it. 2 teeth. It will be under this skin. It will be under this layer of cake. Click Arrange. Click Send Backward. Because I want to go down one layer at a time, not multiple ones. I don't want it to go to the bottom because the bottom will be under this black layer. So I'll put it down layer by layer. We can also use the command Ctrl+. The other day I gave a tutorial. I'll take it down layer by layer until it comes down. These 2 teeth are coming out too much, so I push them up a bit. I'll give it an angry expression, so I'll put an angry icon here. Convert it to strokes. I like this color. I'll make this a little darker. It's thicker. And stroke. Round cap. We'll multiply it. Turn it around. Put one in here. We will choose these 2. Keep multiplying. And we use the reflect command to flip it back. This one is a bit too thick, so I'll make it thinner. And the color is also a bit dark, so I will choose a lighter color. I'm sorry. This one I will press X to bring the color to the top. And press Shift to suck this color. Because this is the color of the fill, not the stroke. So if we want to suck the color, we have to hold down Shift. We will draw a leg for it. Draw legs like it's running, chasing something. Then its legs are the same color as the cake. Thickness increase. A little big. We'll multiply it by the second leg. When one leg is running, the leg behind it should be more stretched than the one in front. We'll make some drool right in its mouth. Look at it more fierce. Zoom in a bit. Give it a blue color. Multiply one more layer. This one I want it to be thicker. Like I said, make it rhythmic. Thick and thin are different, don't let it be equal. It won't be beautiful. I'll put it under the teeth and the vegetable layer. It will splash some saliva. Let this dot shrink. We will suck this blue. Make this bead a little bigger. In the back, we drew some falling sesame seeds like that. just small. Reduce it a bit to keep our space from being empty. This bead is so big. I think that's okay. We've got a burger. To draw this picture, it took me a while to prepare the idea. After that, I can draw this picture to teach you guys. But it's not as smooth as you can see. So you guys just make the initial drafts and then you'll edit and perfect your characters. After you have completed this tool course, you can make shapes like that. It's pretty cute. Of course, it also depends on the level of reference and your ideas. But if you learned this far, you can create similar products. Thank you and goodbye everyone. Good luck to you and see you in the next course.
Please like and subscribe to our channel.